Welcome back to part 5, I think, of this PvP tutorial. We have our gun here, our custom events. We have the switch team and all the start end game and the circuits. If you haven't seen the previous videos, I recommend you see the previous videos. So in this video, we are going to be wrapping this up a little bit, and then after we're done with the circuits and everything, we will be working on the map. So first, I'm going to fix this up a little bit. So as you know from the last video, if I hit the start game button, this will come up, and if I grab the gun, I can go ahead and shoot myself and get a score for the enemy team, which obviously you do not want. So I am going to make it so if you shoot yourself or a teammate or whatever, it does not work. So we are going to get a few if chips. So go ahead and swap this to surface and just copy some if chips up here. 3 should be good. So 1, make sure they're a little far apart. There we go. Okay, so we are going to take this right here, and we are actually going, well, let me end the game first real quick. So it resets their score to 0. Okay, so we are going, oh my gosh, this bug again. Okay, so we're going to reconnect this from here to this if chip. And what we're going to put here is if the game started. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect this real quick. The game doesn't actually need to be started for this to work. As you can see, if I shoot myself enough, it stops me and unequips. It still works. We do not want that to happen. So because we don't want that to happen, we are going to connect this to here. And we are going to connect this to this. So basically, when you click the start game button and it is locked, because when we use the interaction volume, it sets it to lock, this will become true. So this value is going to tell us that our game is started. So as you can see now, if I grab the gun, and no matter how many times I shoot myself, I am not going to take damage, stop, or anything, because the game actually needs to be started for that to actually happen now. Well, I didn't connect the rest of the circuit, so it's not going to work as of now. But yeah, that's what that does. That will just make it so you actually have to have the game started for it to do damage. Now we are going to connect it to okay, so what am I going to do next so it doesn't do damage to you? Okay, we are going to get an equals to chip. Equals, and we are going to place it right above this chip right here. So what we are going to do is we are going to get the firing player and the hit player. So if the firing player and the hit player are the same person, we're just going to place equals chip there. So if the firing player and the hit player are the same person, this is going to be true. So I forgot to connect that. Just go ahead, connect that. If they are true and the person is the same, it's not going to do anything. But if this is false and they're not true, we're going to connect it up here. And now we are going to go ahead and get it equals chip again. So this makes it so you can't damage yourself, but what about your teammate? Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to copy this player has role, and we are going to get two of them. So one up there and another one's down there. Make sure they're a little bit separated so you don't get confused. Make sure that it says T1 and T2 for both of them. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to get this equals chip right here, copy it 2 times, and copy another if chip. And now what we're going to do is we are going to connect this to the firing player, the top one. So this will get if the firing player has T1 or T2, and the bottom one is for the hit player, and it's going to see if the hit player has T1 or T2. Now, why did I do this? I did this because it's going to get if the player who is firing and hit has that role, and because of that, it's going to detect if the person should get damaged or not. So go ahead and connect the T1 role for the firing player at the top of the disk, and connect the T1 role for the hit player to the bottom of the disk. And basically, if this is true, so if both of them have T1, the firing player and hit player, is true, it is not going to do nothing. But if it's false, then it will do damage. You don't need to do this with well, actually, yeah, you gotta do this with the other roles. So let's just do that real quick. Connect T2 to there for firing player, T2 for the hit player. Connect it down there. If it's true, it does nothing. If it's false, it will connect into this health chip. So now we made it so if you shoot yourself, it won't do nothing. If you shoot a teammate, it won't do nothing, whether you're on team 1 or T2. And there you go. Now you got a system that will detect if the now I don't got no one to test this with, so you just gotta believe me. I made a PvP map like this before, so okay, so now that we have that done, let's see if let's go ahead and do the time then. So just like these variables, we're gonna copy each one of the HUD element. Go ahead and just copy the set HUD. Why is this greater or equal to? Well, oh my gosh, I can't handle this wire bug. Okay, we're gonna copy the HUD element chip and that's all. We're going to copy this and we're going to bring this up here. Move this over a bit. This will be our time. So go ahead and go into HUD element. And if you want to make it time, you're going to have to put the HUD at the top. There is no other way. I mean, you can have numbers count down and count up, but if you want a legit timer, it's going to have to go into the upper middle. And you see, once you change it to the upper middle, you're going to notice that you're not able to make a title for it anymore. That's because it is the time. So go ahead and just put the HUD element in the upper middle, and the value of your time, whatever it's going to be, mine is going to be 600. And I'm pretty sure 600 is 10 minutes. Yeah, 600 is 10 minutes because 60 seconds is 1 minute and 60 times 10 is 600. And if you preview the HUD element, there you go. You got your timer. And if you go ahead and, oops. I think I might have. Why won't it let me click the option again? It is buggy. So buggy. Let me click the option. Okay, it's not buggy anymore. That's great. Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to get a int variable. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the health variable down here. and place it right beside here. We're going to get a subtract chip again. So type in subtract, get a subtract chip. And of course, we're going to rename the int variable to time. So time. Now that we renamed it, we're going to make sure it's synced, because of course we want it synced so everyone has the same time on their screen. And we are going to get the oh, we can actually get rid of this chip because there's no max value. There's only one value, and that's the HUD element value when it comes to the upper middle time value. So we're going to get the get HUD, we're going to put it right here, and we will put a 1. So every time that this pings, it is going to set the HUD element and subtract it by 1. So I am going to show you where you are going to get a set HUD element value, connect it to the HUD element value, obviously. We're going to connect the value to this. We're going to connect here. And let's go ahead and connect this to the start chip real quick. Okay, so we are going to disconnect this, which comes online when the game is true, so the HUD appears. And we are going to connect it back down here. And we are going to do the same thing with this. We are going to disconnect this, and it's going to turn this to false. And there we go. Okay, so what we are going to connect here is we are going to want to connect the game starting timer to here. So game starting. So I think, yeah, I think this goes off when the game starts. So when the game starts, we are going to connect it to here so it goes down. Then we are going to get a less than or equal to chip. Then we're going to get an if chip. And what this is going to do is we are going to connect the time value here. And if it's less or equal to 0 when it goes down. So when the game starts, this is going to ping. And this is going to see if it's true or false. And right now it is true. But this isn't going to be true when the game starts. So when the game starts, it will switch to 599, and this will immediately become false. And because it becomes false, we're going to connect the else value back here. That way it will loop. But we might want to put a delay. We might want to put a delay chip here, because the delayed chip will delay our timer by 1 second. Otherwise, it's going to count down to 0 incredibly quickly, what we don't want. So connect the else value to a delay chip after 1 second. And then after that 1 second, it goes here. And of course, when it does reach a 0, we are going to cancel this chip so it stops this whole operation here. And let's go ahead and test it out real quick. Let me go ahead and room reset. Now, if I go ahead and start the game, as you see, the timer is going to start counting down by 1. It was a little glitchy there, and I'll just leave that there for a while so you guys see that it doesn't stop. And now we are wow. Yeah, as you can see, it is going to keep pinging every second because we connected it in a loop. And that cancel. Yeah, as you can see, because we connected it in a loop, it's going to loop until that's at 0. And then when it's at 0, it's going to cancel this. And we are also going to connect this to the game ending chip. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, what if nobody gets a max score? And let's say team 1 has 5 and team 2 has 3 points. Who's going to win if no one's at max score? Well, that's a great question because will tell you. So, when the game ends, it's so hard to work with no wires. I hate constantly doing this. Okay, so as you see, when it reaches 10, then the game ends. But if the timer reaches 0 before it reaches 10, we are going to see which score is the highest. So go ahead and list chip. Yeah, go ahead and get a list chip. We are going to get a list create chip. Go ahead and place it wherever you want. I'm going to place it right in the middle of both these of team 1 and team 2. And what is going to be in the list is this int variable right here. So connect the scores of both teams. Right now they're both 0. They're not the score isn't high or low on any of them. But let me go ahead and do that just in case. Oh yeah, I made it so you can't shoot yourself. Okay, I'm going to disconnect this real quick and just do that. So I will show you. Okay, so I went ahead and excuse me. Because I not on a team. Of course, every time I reset the room, I need to put myself on a team so it actually counts a score. Okay, so there we go. Team 2 has 1 score now. So right now it's 0 to 1. Now we are going to type in list max. This will get the maximum out of a list. So if you have 2 scores, it will get the max out of both scores, which is a 1. Now that is not it, because after we do get the 1, we are going to need to get an equals chip. Let's see what score which team actually won, because this isn't going to show it without that. We're going to get an equals and if chip. And we are going to go ahead and connect the 1 to the bottom of both these. And then we're going to connect this back to the score. And what this is going to do is this gets the max score out of each team. Then it's going to see which team equals that score. And based on which one is true and which one is not true, that team will be the one who wins. And of course, this is after the timer ends. If the timer doesn't hit 0 before you hit max score, then this won't matter. Okay, so we are going to connect this to team 1 for team 1 winning, and we're going to connect this to team 2 for team 2 winning. And we're just going to connect the else value down here, because if team 1 wins, team 1 win, but if this is false, it's going to go down here and see if team 2 wins and stuff. If they're both 0, then I guess team 1 wins automatically. I mean, you could also make a circuit where if both teams are at 0, then none of them win, I guess. But yes, this is the stalemate circuit. So if one team has 1 and the other team has 0, this is going to turn the true to false based on that, and it's going to end the game. Now, I'm just waiting till the timer ends. What we can do in the meantime, though, is actually go over to our gun handle. We're just gonna go ahead and move this gun handle over and copy it a few times for each player. I'm gonna show you that it will take up a little bit of ink every time you spawn a gun. I mean, it depends on what gun you're spawning in. But as you see, it takes up quite a bit of ink for every gun. But I will show you that it does not matter which gun you use because of the combat conversion chip over here. The combat conversion chip makes it so you can just spawn in any weapon with the gun handle and it will work. So as you see, this works. If I grab this works. If I grab this works. And I grab the fourth one, this works. And basically all of them will work. It doesn't matter as long as you have the combat conversion chip. Okay, so now that I explained that, let's go ahead and work on the respawn thing, cause yeah, it should respawn you whenever you die. So let's go ahead and type in respawn. The respawn point should be the first chip that comes up. And we are just gonna place it on the ground somewhere. Let's go ahead and just place about team 2 wins.
Red team wins.
And yeah, because I had more score than the blue team, it said I won. And it went ahead and, you know, made the start game button pop up again. So go ahead and just get the respawn point and just place a few of them around the map. It honestly, we could have made our map by now, but I'm totally okay with not making it about now. This is okay. So get a respawn point. Remember the green circle where people spawn in. The hazard zone detects hazards. So we're gonna go ahead and place one right here. I am going to place, okay, where that can happen. I'm going to place one in this corner, and I'm going to place another respawn point in this corner. Make sure that you save your game because you never know when you're going to crash. And I'm going to say that I just crashed, and yeah, I'm so glad I saved the game. Okay, so go ahead and place the 4 respawn points. We are also going to get 2 more respawn points and place them right in the middle here. One on this side and another on this side. We are actually going to make the spawn points for the players at the beginning a little smaller. So we actually know these are the spawn points that people are going to spawn on when the game starts. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and where it does the game start dang. Okay, it looks like the wires are working. Sorry that it's very buggy. You know, Rec Room. So game starts, goes up here. Okay, the wire goes down here, goes back up here, sets the time. Okay, so oh my gosh. Oh my god. I have the role of P1 if I go into this room, settings, game roles, show only my roles. I have the role of P1, so it respawn me here. And if I have T2, it will respawn me here. Now, these respawn points are disabled because I don't want you to start the game and respawn here. I want you to start the game and I want you to respawn at this point. So we are going to disconnect this real quick and disconnect this real quick. So whenever we start the game, it will respawn us, but we are going to also have it go and disable all of our points to respawn the players. And then we're just going to reconnect it up here. This is going to make it so the players cannot respawn here. And of course, we are going to go ahead and enable these. So go ahead and enable all these respawn points because they were disabled. So go ahead, just enable it like that. And then it's gonna go up here and, do its thing. Well, the timer's still counting down even though I ended the game. Okay, so now that we did that, now that we spawn in, it is going to spawn us here whether we got a certain role or not. Then it will disable it the second we spawn in, and it will enable the rest of the respawn points. And of course, when the game ends, we are going to re-enable all of our role respawn points, and we are going to disable these spawn points so you can start another game. And of course, we are going to connect this back to this so it resets the score when the game ends. Go ahead and save the game so you don't lose your progress. So this, when you start the game, it just respawns all the players at the ones that are enabled right now. But we are going to actually, we're not going to copy this one. We're going to get the one that, the one that respawns a certain player. And we are going to place it right here. Okay, so now we are going to connect this to the hit player, which is the player who died, and oh, connects it to a spawn point. Okay, yeah, we do not want that one. We want the other one. This one is if you want to respawn the player at a specific spawn point. I don't think I need to do that unless, Anyway, we're going to go ahead and connect this to the hit player. And now, after the 3-second delay, you should respawn. And I don't exactly know where this was connected to. Oh, this was connected to here to make your health back to 100. And now, if I go ahead and start the game after switching teams, it will respawn me here. The respawn point will be disabled now. Oh, I can't shoot myself though because I got the circuits. I'm going to go ahead and reconnect it like that for a second. You don't need to do that. I'm just doing this for an example to show you guys. So it stops me after 3 seconds. It's going to respawn me in one of the corners, which was this one. If I go ahead and do that again, it may respawn me there. It could respawn me in another corner. Okay, so it respawned me there. And it works. Okay, so if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.